I'm Elisa, thank you for joining me. For this morning practice, we're going to endeavour to move every joint and every muscle of the body. So let's start today's practice by lying down on your mat and just discover for yourself a supine shape that really suits your body. Of course, that might be that you've just laid down with your legs outstretched in front of you. Extending your legs, letting your little toe sides of your feet drop out to the sides. It might be that you've elected to bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open wide. And maybe bring your arms a little wider so you look like a star that fell to earth from the sky. It might be that you want to just bring your heels beneath your knees and have your feet hip width apart and parallel. Or you might prefer to lift your legs, wrap your arms around your shins and hug your thighs into your belly, your knees into your chest. But whichever pose, whichever supine shape your body has now chosen for you, let it come from your body rather than your brain. And then close your eyes and find stillness, not just physically, but mentally. And we can achieve mental stillness by just focusing on the body, focusing on the breath, being aware of the points of contact between our bodies and the earth, our foundations in our chosen supine pose. And as you watch the breath as it moves in and moves out of your body through the nose, each time you inhale, let that serve as an invitation to empty your own anatomy. And each time you exhale, let that be a means of travelling even more deeply into your world within. And as you find yourself becoming more and more immersed in that internal landscape, notice something beginning to subtly shift, to change in the way you feel, not just mentally but physically. Your belly rising and falling as you breathe. The back of your body each time you exhale sinking ever more deeply down into the ground. The muscles becoming more relaxed. Your bones heavy and dense. And as you lie here quietly, peacefully, focusing on what's going on inside, scan your body. Take stock of how you feel. Not just how you're feeling physically, of course that's important, but how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically today. And as those honest, heartfelt answers make themselves known, resolve to meet yourself on your mat exactly where you're at, with today's body level of energy, strength, flexibility. Tailor your practice to suit you. However you've positioned your body supine on the mat now, pick up your feet and mould your hands to your knees. And then form two separate circles with your thigh bones circumnavigating the hips. Place a little pressure against the kneecaps with the palms and encourage the heads of your thigh bones to excavate deep into the hip sockets. As you mobilise your hips, travelling those knees in two separate circles in one direction, when you're ready, start to mobilise in the opposite one. And once you've circled your knees in both directions evenly, come back to stillness with your feet in prayer. Lift your head to accommodate your hands beneath your head. Lay back into your palms and wing out the elbow points. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, squeeze together your elbows and your knees, bring your chin to your chest and come into a little ball. Inhale, let your knees travel wide, recline back into your palms. Exhale again, chin to chest, squeeze together your knees. Inhale, open up your heart and hips. Exhaling, squeeze, come into that little ball. Inhale, recline. Keep going with this, building a little bit of heat. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhale and inhaling. One more time, exhale and inhale. As you inhale, take your legs into a great big V. Keep your head resting in your palms unless you feel that you need to prop up your legs with your hands. If that's the case, place your elbows on the floor and prop up the outer thighs with your palms. If you're okay to keep your head resting in your palms, then stay with that. As you exhale, draw your heels together so your feet look like Charlie Chaplin standing there on the ceiling. Then internally rotate the thighs and take the heels wide into that great big V again. Opening and closing your legs as you breathe in and breathe out slowly. Now you maybe take your legs back to vertical each time you exhale. Or maybe you start to lower the angle of your legs if that isn't putting too much pressure on your back. And working with the muscles deep within the core as your legs open and close, internally and externally rotate the thighs into the hips. See if you can lower your legs, maybe more to an angle of 60 degrees. Maybe that feels okay, and you could explore the possibility of lowering your legs as they open and close a little lower. Maybe you need to back away. Again, listen to your body attentively and only go further if you feel that that's not putting pressure on your lower back and you feel strong enough to lower the legs all the way towards the ground. Otherwise, continue to open and close the legs, taking them back to vertical above the hips each time. Anytime you need a break, just take a break. And if you want to go a little further, once again, start to climb your legs up as they open and close. And then climb your legs as they open and close back down. Building up reps, but not necessarily forcing or building up reps just for the sake of it, but tailoring your practice to suit you. Now bring both legs wide back into that V. If you need to prop up your legs, place your hands still on your thighs, point and flex your feet. Point and flex your feet, keep your pelvis grounded, your shoulder blades, back rib cage, your head resting in your palms. And once you've pointed and flexed your feet a few times, start to circle your feet, 2 separate circles with your feet, loosening up those ankles, easing out those snaps, those crackles, those pops in the ankle joints. It becomes quite strong, so if you're feeling that you're getting too much pressure going on, too much stretch going on in the inner groins, in the inner thighs, in the inner hips, prop up your legs. If you're okay, keep circling your feet in both directions for a few more rounds, still with your head in your palms. And then still that activity with feet flexed. And then slowly draw the legs back together side by side. Release your head and mould your arms to the fronts of your shins and hug your thighs down to your belly, knees back down to your chest. Bring your forehead as you next exhale up to greet both of your knees. Come into that little fetal ball with your shoulders relaxed. Take another deep breath in, feel your belly to the brim and feel it swelling against the pressure of your thighs. As you exhale, let your head and shoulders recline. Now stand both feet again on the ceiling, cross your ankles with pointed toes. Raise your arms vertical above your heart. Interlock 3 fingers and send your 4 fingertips towards the heavens. Take a deep breath in and take your arms back to frame your ears. And as you exhale, try to lift your pelvis and position your forearms to the outer edge of your left thigh. Keep lifting your hips, pointing your toes and shooting them upwards towards the sky. Try to lift both shoulder blades, left and right, off the floor. Keep the legs really active, strong and switched on. Inhale, lower the pelvis, take your arms back to frame your ears. Same thing, second side. Exhale as you lift, forearms to the outer right thigh this time. Try to lift more of your pelvis off the floor, more of your tail and more of your upper back. Both shoulder blades lifting off the mat. Inhale and recline. Now release your fingers from their bind, and this time as you rise, exhale, bring your arms either side of your outer thighs and try to traction your shoulder blades apart. Really lift your hips, and breathe steadily, gazing upwards towards your toes. Keep the back of your neck long. Breathe long, deep breaths. Come out of that when you're ready and mould your hands back to your knees as you bend them. With knees side by side now, just circle your knees and massage your lower back, your hips. With the knees side by side, circle one way, and with the knees still side by side, cycle in the opposite direction. Just a little bit of more work for the core to build some heat. Once again, just take a moment or two just to push your knees forward so that they wind up back over the hips. And then slowly peel your head and shoulders off the floor, still with your hands on the knees, on the thighs. Exhale, take your right leg forwards. Keep the chin tucked into the chest. Inhale, bring the right knee back in towards the right palm. Exhale, take the left leg forwards. If this feels too strong for the neck, your head can stay grounded. Inhale, dock the knee into the palm. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale, extend the leg, pointed toes. And inhale. Exhaling. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. One more the same. Exhaling again. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Let your head, neck and shoulders relax. And as you pop your hands under your thighs with your chin tucked into your chest, start to roll your weight forwards and backwards over your spine a few times. And then bring yourself all the way over to kneel on all fours. And once you've got yourself kneeling on all fours, set your wrists beneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips. Press down strongly through your hands and press down through the roots of your fingers and thumbs. Peer towards your right hip. Try to squeeze the right side of your body and balloon the breath via the left armpit to the left hip. Keep gazing back as if you're trying to spot your tail. Inhale, come back to the center. Then exhale and look over your left shoulder, glancing all the way around to see if you can spot your tail, your left hip this time. Nice strong arms. Come back to the center. Do that again, exhaling as you squeeze the right ribs and waist. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale as you squeeze the left ribs and waist and peer towards your tail. Inhale, come back to the center. As you exhale, come into an extended child pose with your sitting bones docking onto your heels. As you inhale, shift the weight bearing back towards the wrists, belly drawn to spine. Exhale, sink back, sit bones on heels. Inhale, shift forwards. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, shift forwards. One more the same. Exhale to reverse back onto your heels again. And inhale to shift forwards. Now tuck under your toes. Part way, take your sit bones to your heels. Then start to lift the knees and gently begin to straighten the legs without locking the knee joints closed. As you come into your first down facing dog, set your feet to hip width apart and parallel. Begin to paddle out your feet. Alternately bend the knees. And as you palpate the mat with your feet, spreading the weight forwards to your finger pads and pressing down into your knuckles, the roots of your fingers and thumbs, try to avoid being heavy in your wrists. Walk out your dog. Keep your head hanging heavy, your belly drawn to your spine. Once you've had a good old walk of your dog, come back to the midline. Pivot the heels of both feet over to the left of your mat and bend your left knee over to the right of your mat. Peer out underneath your right armpit. Let the weight of your head be heavy and try to draw the front body towards the outer seam of your left thigh. Imagine you're sitting your bum over there on the left-hand side of the room. Feel that stretch again in the right side of your body, from your armpit to your hip. Now pivot on the balls of your toes. Cross your right knee over to the left. Let your head hang as you peer out underneath your armpit and try to imagine parking your sitting bones on the wall to your right. That stretch, building in intensity down the left side of your body, heavy head still. Now come back to the midline. And as you do, begin to walk your feet up to your hands to take your forward bend. As you come into your forward bend, make sure that your belly is snugly fastened to your spine. Let your head be heavy and bend your elbows, popping the webbing of your thumbs to the elbow crease. As you hang out there in monkey pose, add a little bit of pressure against your forearms with your palms. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and then start to pendulum your forearms, your torso from side to side. As you mobilise the upper body, begin to increase the range of movement. Start to swing your elbows all the way to the backs of each heel and horseshoe your forearms around the edges of your feet. As you create that horseshoe shape with your arms, alternately bend the knees and keep the weight grounded evenly through both feet. Let your head stay heavy, helping to traction the neck, the spine. Once you've had a little play with that, just come back to stillness. Release your hands from the upper arms and hook up each of your big toes with your peace fingers. Begin to peel your belly away from your thighs. Look forward through your heart and eyes and try to draw your shoulder blades deeper into your back rib cage. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, squeeze your navel to your kidneys and fold into the space between your inner thighs. Like a phoenix from the ashes, inhale, rise. Look forwards again, shoulders receding away from your ears. Exhale as you fold back into your thighs, heavy head. One more the same, deep breath in, keep peeling the toe pads off the floor. And then exhale as you fold back into your forward bend. Release the grasp of your big toes. Bend your knees quite a bit more and plug your feet into the floor. With heavy head and dangling arms, slowly, belly snugly fastened to spine, stack the vertebrae one bone at a time, ultimately to come to mountain pose. Tailbone heavy, neutral pelvis. Turn your palms forwards and ahead and close your eyes. There in the stillness of mountain pose, draw up tall through the crown of your head. Send long grounding roots into the earth through the soles of your feet. Stretch out your fingers and dome your palms. Feel that stretch from the center of your palms to the tips of your fingers and thumbs. Let your shoulders continue to melt away from your ears. With that heavy tailbone subtly merging with the pubic bone, feel your core muscles kicking in. Each time you breathe in, feel your belly swell. Each time you breathe out, feel your belly concave. Now make a great big arc with your fingertips. And as you create that rainbow with your fingers spread wide, bring your hands to prayer. As you exhale with your hands in prayer, humbly bow down towards the earth, hinging at the hips again. As you inhale, lift halfway. As you exhale, fold back into your thighs. And this time as you rise, paint a circle with your fingers, hinge from the hips, keep a really heavily weighted tail and complete that sun breath by bringing your hands in prayer through the center line of your face home to the heart. Come back to mountain pose again. Do that once more, inhaling, spread the fingers, lift your heart. Exhale as you humbly bow down towards the ground with your hands in prayer. Inhale, slowly halfway rise. And exhale as you fold back into your thighs, heavy head again. Ground the feet, spread the fingers and paint a massive circle like you're painting the rising sun with your hands. Exhale and draw your hands back home to the heart center. Blink, close your eyes, take a moment or two standing back in mountain pose. Once again, as you continue your journey, inhale and spread your fingers wide, gather your palms to prayer. As you exhale, still with your hands in prayer, that gesture of gratitude, fold, hinging at the hips back into your thighs. As you inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, step your left foot back and lower your left knee to the floor, padding it out if you need to. You can pleat the mat in from the side, you can grab your knee pad, you can pop a cushion underneath your knee if it's not too massive. Inhale, raise your fingertips, reach up high towards the sky. Now take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Glance down past your armpit, past your hip. And as you gently tug on that left wrist, see if you can balloon the breath into the side body. Keep those points of contact between your body and the earth really grounded. Try to maintain that sense of stability from the ground upwards. Breathe deeply into that shape. And if you want more, just begin to peer up past your left tricep towards the sky. From there, try to keep that space in the side body as you position your elbow to the side of the knee or the thigh. Bring your hands to prayer. Prepare your prayer twist with your thumbs against your breastbone. Press your palms together. Take a deep hit of breath into the belly, into the chest. Nudge the right shoulder back and keep the back of your neck long. As you twist, maybe you want more. If that's the case, float the back knee off the floor, keeping the toes tucked under and pushing back through the heel. As you come into that twist, whether you've taken the invitation up to lift the knee or not, try to keep drawing the back of your head away from your heart and hug together your inner thighs and your outer hips. Those of you who accepted the invitation to lift the knee slowly descended. And then slowly from there, inhale, and with your hands in prayer, let your fingertips glance across the surface of the sky. Come back into that crescent moon lunge, lifting your gaze through navel, heart and eyes. As you exhale, rainbow the hands back down to shoulder width. Plant the palms on the floor and lift your back knee without gaining height. Take your right foot to join your left foot and find plank. Brace in plank, hugging the heels together, the inner calves together, the knees, the inner thighs. As you exhale, lower the knees, lift your bum. Hover your heart between your thumbs and pulling your heart between your thumbs. Come into little cobra, peering down the bridge of your nose. Release your hands behind you, interlock your fingers somewhere near your tail, send your knuckles to your heels. With your shoulders sloping away from your ears, try lifting your legs and pointing your toes. Now once again, open the legs out wide into a V as you inhale. And exhale as you draw the heels together, the legs together. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale. Great, and exhale. Inhaling. And exhale. One more if you've got one in you. Inhale. And exhale. Lower your feet, bring your hands either side of your armpits to shoulder width, tuck in your chin, cave your belly, and partway take your seat to your heels. Child pose might be calling your name, but if it isn't, tuck under your toes and take downward facing dog pose. With feet hip width apart, spreading your fingers and pressing down through the joints of your fingers and thumbs. Take a deep breath in for 1. Sharply lift the axes of your hips. Exhale, inch the heels to the floor, feel the belly cave. For 2, feel the buttocks rise, the head not heavy between your arms. Exhale, and spread the weight forwards to the finger pads. For 3, again, just feel your whole body expand, your belly bloat. Exhale, feel your whole body contract, a deep inner strength within the core. And for 4, once again, feel your buttocks rise. Exhale as your belly caves. Look forwards to the top of your mat. Pick up your left foot and then pop your left foot between your hands, lowering your back knee. Revisiting that runner's lunge and padding out that back knee if necessary. Raise your fingertips, led by the thumbs, and frame your ears with your arms. Heavily weight your tail, and then take hold of the right wrist this time with your left palm. Peer down past the side body, past the hip. And as you reach over to the left with the right fingertips, let the breath cascade down the right side from your armpit all the way to your hip. Continue to breathe into that shape while I change sides so I can keep an eye on you. And as you find yourself just opening up the side body, maybe peering up past your tricep towards the sky. Now try to maintain all of that space in the right ribs and waist as you place the elbow onto the side of the knee or thigh. Try not to collapse your torso onto your thigh, but keep the elbow on the thigh and your torso slightly shy of the thigh. Press your palms together, really press them together and manipulate that left shoulder so it draws back. The elbow tracks the side ribs, the waist. Those of you that took up the invitation to lift the back knee before, replicate the same technique on this side. Floating the knee, pushing it back through the heel, lengthening the breath and drawing the back of your head away from the back of your heart. Keep hugging together those inner thighs and outer hips. Try to maintain that sense of stability right there at the center of your body. If you lifted the knee, exhale to descend it. With your hands still in prayer, let them coast across the surface of the ceiling and find yourself just moving back into that crescent lunge, really lifting and lengthening the front body out of the pelvis. As you exhale, rainbow the hands back to shoulder width. And as you come, this time, instead of back to plank, forwards to the top of your mat to find your forward fold. Keep your knees as bent as you need to. Let your head be heavy. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold back into your thighs. Ground the feet, hinge from the hips. You've got this really heavily weighted tail. And as you circle the sky with your fingertips and bring your hands back home to prayer, blink, close your eyes, and once again, wait there quietly, reflecting on how you feel, the quality of your breath, sending long, deep roots down into the earth's bedrock through your feet, feeling strong, centered, and stable. And as you encourage yourself to become that little bit more grounded, let your breath once again take you on that internal journey beneath your skin. In your own time, crack open your eyes and once again circle the room that you're in around the ceiling, all the way up towards the sky. As you exhale once again with your hands in prayer, hinge at the hip crease and fold back into your thighs. And as you inhale, halfway rise. As you exhale, step your right foot back and begin to cartwheel your way up into Warrior Two, looking out in front of you. And as you come into Warrior Two, oops, I've slipped off the patio. As you come into Warrior Two, outstretching your arms, turn your palms to face the sky. As you inhale, straighten the front leg and steeple your hands above your crown. As you exhale, drop back into Warrior Two. Inhaling and exhale. Keep the spine vertical, inhaling and exhale. One more the same, inhaling again and exhale. Turn your palms back to face the floor. Straighten your front leg without locking your knee and begin to reach with your fingertips way, way, way out ahead of your toes. Hinge into triangle pose. Bring the palm lightly onto the shin, bend the elbow and once again cup the back of your head with your palm. Elevate the elbow of your left arm towards the heavens and leaning your head into your palm, begin to barrel your navel, heart and eyes towards the sky as you breathe in. And as you exhale, bring your left elbow to find the inside seam of your right elbow as you twist towards the thigh. Inhale, elevate the left elbow back to the sky. Exhaling and inhale, exhale and inhale. One more the same, exhaling again and inhale. Once again, reach up towards the heavens with your fingertips and really imagine with your fingertips spread wide, touching the sky. Turn your face, if it's comfortable for your neck to do so, towards the root of your thumb. Now come all the way up and outspread your arms. And then just bring your hands behind your back and turn your toes towards the side of your mat, interlacing your fingers behind your tail. Take a deep breath in. Let the hips travel forwards and the tailbone sink down. Pucker together the flesh between the shoulders. Try not to lock the knees. As you exhale, fold, hinging at the hip crease, finding your forward bend. letting your knuckles potentially rise up and fall overhead. Peer back between your legs. And as you let your head be heavy and your knuckles fall forwards in space, avoid locking those knees. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Soften the elbows, round the arms, bow the arms, and imagine pulling your fingers apart from their bind. As you exhale, lower your knuckles to your tail. Bring both hands beneath your shoulders, poised on your fingertips. Lift your torso back, up parallel to the floor. And as you bring your torso parallel to the floor, place your right hand beneath your heart and raise your left hand to the sky. Take a twist. Spread the fingers. Keep the back of your neck long. As you reach up towards the heavens with your fingertips, experiment with lifting and spreading your toes. As you exhale, turn back to the earth. Place your left hand where your right hand was and take a twist in the opposite direction. Fan out the fingers, reach for the sky and lift and spread the toes, encouraging the arches of your feet to lift, the calf muscles in the knees and thighs. As you exhale, slowly release, come back into your forward bend. And then turn the toes of your left foot to the front edge of your mat. Lift your hands from the floor and come back to find Warrior Two, second side. Outstretching your arms and heavily weighting your tail, try to make sure your pelvis feels neutral. If it was a basin of liquid filled to the brim, it wouldn't be pouring out the front past your pubic bone or past your tail. Turn your palms to face the sky. Really stretch out from the center of your palms to the tips of your fingers and thumbs. Try to be a little bit more vertical in that pose. So reach back, one or two of you, a little bit more with your right hand. Feel yourself in space with a vertical spine. Then take a mental, physical snapshot of how that feels so that you can revisit it again. As you inhale, raise your fingertips and then dock straight back into Warrior Two, looking out in front of you with that upright spine. Inhaling and exhale, drop into Warrior Two. Inhale, good, and then exhale, bend the knee, make sure it's tracking your middle and smallest toes. Another one the same, inhaling and exhale. Turn your palms once again to face the earth. Begin to straighten the front leg and drop a bit taller in height, so the front leg straightening. And then reaching out beyond the thigh, beyond the knee, beyond the shin, beyond the toes, before hinging into that second side triangle pose. Leaning your back body as well as the back of your head on the wall behind. Now bend the elbow and pop your head into your palm. Try to elevate the right elbow upwards towards the heavens and take a deep breath in. And then exhale and take the right elbow to find the inside seam of the left as you twist. Inhaling, reach up high to the rafters with the elbow again. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhaling and inhaling. Another one the same, exhaling and inhale. Last one of these, exhale, squeeze your navel to your kidneys and inhale, raise the elbow back up. Release your head, but try not to let it hang. Keep the back of your head in line with the rest of your spine. Reach up towards the heavens with your fingertips and glance up to the root of your thumb. From here, slowly release, come all the way back up. Pivot your toes back to the side of your mat, but heel toe your feet closer together this time. Turn your heels in and toes out. And then inhale and paint a rainbow again with your fingertips. As you exhale, take a squat, pushing your palms down towards the ground. Need to be a bit wider. Inhaling. Sit that breath in and fill yourself to the brim. Exhale, push against that invisible force field, your hands down to the ground, like you're plunging the coffee with a French press. Exhaling. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Keep going with that, exhaling. Keep the spine nice and upright. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, one more cleansing breath as you exhale. Now pause and outstretch your arms. Once again, turn your palms to face the sky. You've got this very heavy tail and your knees are trying to track your middle toe. Now keep smiling because your thighs are going to start grumbling. Take your forearm to the right thigh, take the left arm up and overhead, drop a little bit deeper into that squat. Keep the knees right over the heels and breathe via the armpit to the hip. Now inhale, come back to the center, palms facing the sky, spread your wings. Left forearm, left thigh, right arm up and overhead, drop a little bit deeper, knees tracking the smallest toes. Come back to the center and bend your elbows. Keep smiling as you exhale, draw your forearms together, your palms to prayer. Inhale, open up the heart. Exhaling, heavy tail. Inhale, keep smiling. Exhaling. And inhale, you're nearly there. Exhale. And inhale. Bring your hands behind you, straighten your legs without locking your knees. Look up, pivot your toes to face forwards. Exhale, hinge at the hip crease and fold back down towards the ground. Take a few breaths there, just softening the edges of your breath. Letting your knuckles once again fall forwards potentially. Letting the weight of your head traction the spine. Breathing steadily, peering out between your legs past your thighs. As you exhale, stay low as you lower your knuckles to your tail. Bring your hands once again beneath your shoulders. Lift your back once again parallel to the mat and imagine your sitting bones bursting through your buttocks towards the sky. Prowl your hands round to the opposite side of your mat. Pivot your toes and bring your hands flat to step back to plank. And from plank, take knees, chest, chin or low plank, baby cobra or up dog. And then exhale and come to kneel in child pose with both hands settled down by your feet. In child pose, soften your elbows. Try to bring a little bit of weight to bear upon your forehead. Soften the elbows so that your shoulders can slide apart and take some deep breaths into your body. Once again, use your breath as an invitation to enter your own body, to seek respite, to take stock of how you're feeling. Each time you breathe in, let that invitation take you inside that internal landscape. And each time you breathe out, feel yourself traveling even deeper still. From your child pose, tuck your chin into your collarbones and curl your way up through the spine to come to kneel. If you're uncomfortable kneeling, sit either cross-legged or in some other way instead. A little bit of work for your shoulders. As you raise your arms, once again, palms facing the sky. And then bend your elbows and turn your fingertips towards the heavens, palms facing towards me. Exhale and turn your left fingertips to the floor and your right fingertips to the sky. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Another round the same. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. As you exhale, see if you can reach your fingertips behind your back. And then change, reaching your fingertips behind your back once again. And then just keep changing up a few more times, keeping the upper back nice and long, your chin parallel to the floor. You don't have to touch, but try to touch your fingers as close as you can between your shoulder blades. But just opening up the upper back, mobilising the shoulders, and of course you can sit wherever you feel comfortable, you don't have to kneel. Once you've had a little play with this, come back to stillness again. And as you do, bring your right hand so that the palm of your right hand is resting on your back ribs, and take your left palm and just cup the side of your face. And then just incline your head over to the left, sinking your right elbow down by your right waist. Gently explore that stretch into the side of your neck and your neck and your upper traps. Not forcing the stretch, but just creating a softness as you breathe steadily. Now do the same thing. Bring the left hand to the back of the shoulder blade, the right palm to cup the side of the head. And as you draw the elbow down towards the waist and draw the ear over to the right, again, just breathe into that part of the neck, upper trapezius, that feels tight. Listen to your breath. Quietly focus within. And then just bring yourself back with both hands on your knees. Take a deep breath in, look up through heart and eyes towards the sky. Exhale, cave your belly, bow your head to your chest. Inhale, rise up through the spine. Exhale, imagine rolling back onto your tail. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhale. One more the same, inhaling and exhale. Come back to a neutral spine whereby your back, of course, is flat, and take your sitting bones to the right of your heels. Nestle the top of your right foot into the arch of your left foot, so sort of Little Mermaid style. Walk your left hand away from your left shin bone and take your right arm up and overhead, finding another deep lateral stretch into the side body. Turn your palm to face the wall behind, the tip of your thumb to face up towards the heavens, and peer up past your tricep, drawing it out of sight. As you drop in on gravity and breathe into that shape, try to direction your kneecaps away from the hip crease. Now transition your right hand behind your tail and bring your left hand to the outer right thigh. Pull up really tall through the spine as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, starting with the waistline, start to turn your navel to the right, but not your face. Move your way up gently, one breath at a time, through the vertebrae, until you're looking into the corners of your eyes and towards whatever's behind you. Each time you exhale, try to squeeze out every last molecule of breath. Each time you breathe in, fill up to the brim and try to draw up a little bit taller in height. Now slowly transition, come facing your left side of your mat and outstretch your left leg at an angle to your mat. And as you reach up high with your fingertips to the sky and square your torso towards the inside seam of the thigh, towards the top of the thigh, exhale and fold into a forward bend. Take another deep breath in and feel as your heart moves forwards, a little bit more space in the front of your body, the side ribs, the waist. And as you exhale, just sense yourself softening into that shape, gazing softly at your toes, sucking the thigh bone into your hip, and breathing ever so gently into whatever feelings and sensations you discover are there. From here, take your right hand and bring it alongside the little toe side of your left foot or the outer ankle or calf. And then incy-wincy spider the left hand, staying relatively low. Walk the hand all the way round towards behind the right hip. And as you twist and peer over your shoulder rather than underneath your armpit, keep drawing yourself into that twist with some steady breaths. As you perhaps push your foot against your palm and pull against your foot with your hand, feel a stretch here into your right upper traps, your right shoulder. From here, turn your attention back to your toes and cross your wrists this time as you place your hands on your foot or your ankles. Take another deep breath in, fill yourself to the top and feel your heart travel forwards towards your toes. Take a slow breath out, and as your belly concaves, feel yourself just nestling down over the thigh and still gazing at your toes. You want your elbows soft and your shoulders relaxed. Take some really deep conscious breaths there, in and out of your body through the nose. From your forward bend, again take your time. Keep the wrists crossed and just bring your hands to prayer. Raise your hands directly upwards and pivot your torso to face me. Lean over towards the right, grounding your sitting bone, keeping the left foot flexed. Come back to the midline. Lean over to the left like a reed swaying in the breeze. Come back to the midline, exhaling and inhaling. Exhale and inhale. Uncross your wrists and position your right hand behind and to the right of your tail. Point your left toes, side the floor with your left fingertips. Rise up, thrusting your hips and your heart to the heavens and doming your left palm, spreading your fingers and pushing down into the ground with the supporting right hand, really strong, supporting right arm. Bloat the belly, fill the chest. Try to create that back bend, that heart opener with effortless ease. Very slowly land your seat, take your time. And as you do, flip your feet over here to the right of you and insert the top of your left foot into the instep of your right. Once you've nestled your feet into that position, walk your right fingertips away from your shin and take your left arm up and overhead to take that side stretch again into the ribs and into the side waist. So left arm up and overhead, somewhat counterintuitive. You're taking your right hand away from your shin and it's your left arm that's coming up and overhead. So mirror me, breathe into the side body. Long, deep breaths. Continue to breathe slowly, steadily, effortlessly as you transition your left hand behind your tail. Keep looking forwards as you bring your right hand to the outer thigh and pull up really tall through the spine as you breathe in. As you exhale, imagine that corset once again being fastened tightly around your waistline. And as you feel that corset tightening, start to turn your navel to the left. And then take a deep breath in and feel yourself drawing up taller again. And then turn your breastbone to the left. And obviously you know where you're going with this, so in your own time, slowly and without rushing to turn your face to the wall behind, move your way up through the thoracic spine patiently. Continue to breathe into that shape, long deep breaths. Find yourself glancing into the corners of your eyes. As you unwind from that shape, extract your right leg and extend your right leg away from you. Slip the foot to the inner thigh and turn your torso towards the right leg as you reach up with your fingertips to the sky, framing your ears with your arms. Take another deep breath in, feel yourself getting an additional bit of height, and then exhale. The front of your body stays spacious and long, core muscles switched on and strong as you fold, gazing lovingly towards your toes. Keep sucking the thigh bone into the hip socket. Keep the underseam of the leg grounded and the foot flexed. Try not to force or shove or struggle your way into this shape. But again, just simply meet yourself wherever you are in the pose. Find your edge, breathe into that, and maybe with patience, with practice, you'll find yourself being able to deepen the edges of this stretch. Come a little bit more deeply physically into the pose. But mostly just find yourself entering your own body and becoming more deeply immersed inside. Now bring your left hand to the little toe side of your foot or ankle. Stay relatively low as you creep your fingertips all the way back behind you on the mat. Then peer over your shoulder rather than collapsing at the neck and looking under the armpit. Push your foot into your palm, but at the same time pull against your foot with your hand. And see if you can traction the left shoulder up a bag. As you peer over your shoulder and keep creeping the fingertips away, keep the right leg active, strong and switched on. From here, bring the wrists crossed back to secure either the foot, the ankle or the calf. And as you cross the right wrist over the left, soften the elbows and bow the arms. Fold into that space between your upper arms towards your thigh, still gazing at your toes though. Pour breath into every nook and cranny of your body as you breathe in. And then just let every last molecule of breath vacate the body as you breathe out. Notice the effect of breathing ever so deeply in and completely out. And then as you slip your hands from your ankles or your foot, keep the wrists crossed and rise up with your hands in prayer. Come facing me. And as you face me, square your torso towards me and then just take your fingertips with your palms clamped in prayer over to the left. Come back to the centre, deep breath in. Exhale as you lean to the right. Try not to collapse forwards. Inhale back to the centre. Exhale. Inhale back to the centre. Exhale. Now inhale, come back to the centre and uncross your wrists. Bring your left hand to the left and behind your hip. Side the floor with your right fingertips, ground your right foot and thrust your hips and heart to the heavens. Spread your fingers, dome your palm, breathe in and fill all the way to the top. Breathe out and empty, empty, empty right the way to the bottom. Feel everything strong, switched on, that light bulb moment when everything feels illuminated, vibrant, shiny and new. When you're ready, exhale and lower your seat. Bring yourself to a cross-legged position. If you need to, park your sit bones onto something to give you a little bit more height and support for your spine. We're going to do a little bit of breath of fire as the temperatures begin to dip and our immune systems start to take quite a hit. Really important to keep the immune system strong and to clear the respiratory tract. So if you've got a tissue and you need to blow your nose, we're going to do breath of fire, and it's quite good to make sure that there's no snot going to fly out onto the rug in front of you. So if you've got a clear nostrils and you're ready to go, what we're going to do is make fists with our hands and bring our fists either side of our shoulders. And then as you inhale, take the hands high, spread the fingers wide, and then as you exhale, make the fists again and pump the breath using your belly muscles out through the nose, hence the idea that you might need to blow your nose first. Okay, inhale, and so keep going. And pause and just bring your hands to rest on your thighs, palms facing the sky, close your eyes. Take some slow breaths in and just notice the residue of that practice that you've just done, that pranayama, that kriya actually, a cleansing kriya, Kapalabhati, your breath of fire. So just notice whether your nostrils, your respiratory tract feels cleaner. Maybe you feel a little bit going on here in the front of your brain. A little bit of sort of tingling and refreshing feeling perhaps. And then we're going to do another round. So when you're ready, raise your hands and then just slowly from here, exhale. Making fists as you exhale and spreading your fingers as you raise the hands up. Keep going. And just let your hands rest on your thighs. Let your chin just rest at the cradle of your collarbones and bow your head this time. Breathe into what's there. Once again, just become a little bit more conscious and aware of how that practice has made you feel. Very slowly restack your crown above your tail. Outstretch both of your legs and come into your seated staff pose. Raise your arms and reach up with your fingertips towards the heavens. Drink a long deep breath in as you take this forward bend, this symmetrical forward bend now. Take a deep breath in, gaze at your toes and feel your heart forward, hovering forwards towards the shins. As you exhale, cave the belly and fold, bowing your head in the direction of the earth. You can bend your knees generously if you need to. Try to breathe a little bit deeper. Soften the edges of your breath as you breathe. Let your breath take on a flowing liquid quality. And having practiced that kriya, Kapalabhati, your breath of fire, just see if you can really optimize the capacity of your lungs and through those clear nasal pathways. Sip in cool breath. And let it just travel right into every part of your body. And as you breathe out, just let every last molecule of breath depart. And from your forward bend, slowly tuck your chin back into your collarbones. Slide your hands along the lines of your limbs towards your thighs. And then just once you've checked what's behind you and you don't need to take anything off your mat, just come down onto your mat again and revisit the same supine shape that you allowed your body to choose for you at the beginning of your practice. Whatever supine shape that was, come back to it now and settle into that shape. And notice perhaps how you feel now in that exact same shape as you did when you were first in the posture just an hour or so ago. Be aware of those points of contact between your body and the earth. The feeling of the breath moving in and out of your body through the nose. Just allow your breath once again to serve as an invitation to enter that internal landscape of your world within. Let your exhalation take you deeper still. And without disturbing your mind and without changing anything, just give yourself permission to let go. To exist here, at this time and in this space. And just to focus on your own body, your own feelings and sensations. Eventually, just allow yourself the opportunity just to come into Shavasana. Extending your legs, letting your little toe sides of your feet drop out. And in that resting shape, just let everything be as it is. Let each moment come and go. And as breath moves in and breath moves out, in those never-ending waves, your mind free just to follow that flow of breath, that flow of energy. And as you explore your internal world and leave the external world behind, all of your senses withdrawn now. All that exists is your body and your breath. Enjoy this time of rest for as long as you need to. Namaste.